High life of an MP, dinner parties, nice houses and no doubt hobnobbing with a few of the elites. Working in the public sector, they've had 2 pay rises, while doctors and nurses still tend to struggle. But just how much are these MPs actually taking the piss? There is much that politicians can claim for under expenses. Even MP Peter Diggers claimed $1,600 for a duck house way back in 2009. Andrew Sellers, no one can blame the Tory Andrew Sellers for wanting to relax after a long day in the Commons with a nice hot mug of Horlicks. What was slightly galling was that the South Bedfordshire MP was so penny pinching he claimed the 55p for a mug of the malt drink in the House of Commons tea room, as revealed during the 2009 scandal. Hopefully he slept well that night. And Ian Duncan Smith once claimed £39 for one single breakfast, a more recent expenses revelation showed. He claimed the £39 for that breakfast as part of a £193 hotel stay when he was an opposition MP. Thankfully, the claims were rejected by Commons authorities, which brings me to the subject of food. Cuts are being made to the NHS left, right and centre, and the doctors and nurses still have a pay freeze, although it's been talked about lifting it, but only talked about. But while this is going on, in the Houses of Parliament restaurant you can pick up a lovely smoked halibut with watercress, horseradish creme fraiche, pink grapefruit and dehydrated pickled shallots, all to the tune of £4.25. But for the same price, what does a doctor get? Well, for £2.10 you can have 3, not 1, not 2, 3 rashers of bacon. You can have that between 2 slices of wholemeal bread for 60p. But don't forget the mustard and ketchup. That doesn't come free, by the way. That comes in at 75p. And let's face it, you don't get much in them sachets. And if you want a coffee, £2.50, thank you very much. The cost of a coffee at Parliament, £1.80, by the way. And that's for a mocha. And that's 2 for the price of 1. So why is it so cheap in Parliament as opposed to making the doctors and the nurses pay for so much for their lunch? Well, as of 2016, taxpayers contributed £3.7 million in subsidising food and drink in the Houses of Parliament. The catering subsidy was reduced by more than 10% in 2015 and has been reduced by 39% in real cash terms since 2007. A House of Lords spokesman has been reported as saying, "We are working hard to reduce the subsidy even further. Our catering services meet the needs of a working Houses of Parliament." That said, doctors and nurses don't get an ounce of subsidy. And as with what I have mentioned before, doctors and nurses don't get much for their money either in comparison. One doctor stated on the BMA website the fact that to order almost anything at all in our hospital canteen will set you back the best part of £10 is really very hard to swallow, a bit like the sandwiches no doubt, especially as nurses, doctors and ward staff are all struggling to convince the government to increase their pay in line with inflation. We're not asking for Michelin-starred grub, but damn it, we are sure as hell are not getting it, despite the prices. But back to the Parliament spokesman. He said, or she said, as reported, our food and drink prices are regularly benchmarked against similar outlets outside Parliament, and the catering service continually seeks to reduce costs and generate more income. But if you're lucky enough to get a table at Piers' dining room at the House of Lords, dinner for us common folk is stated on their website on their new 3-course lunch menu using the finest British ingredients available, has been expertly devised by their in-house team of chefs and is priced at £45 per head, but you get a coffee and petit fours for that. A lightly escalated price on what the MPs pay for dinner on their salary of just over £74,000 a year.
Nice.
With funds being reduced in the police, a 7-year pay freeze for public sector workers, except for MPs that is, funds being given, then reduced on the NHS, is a subsidy warranted on the MP's dinner and drinks, especially when they have in the past claimed for things that many of us would deem just a little bit stupid. Sean Woodward, the wealthiest MP in the Commons, thought it was appropriate in the past to claim for a Crunch Corner yoghurt, costing 38p. That's a big expense, and the likes of our ever lovable Jeremy Hunt, when he was Shadow Media Secretary way back when, Jeremy Hunt was responding to the Digital Britain report in which he reacted angrily to the government's determination to impose a levy on telecoms charges. Mr. Hunt, being the media secretary at the time, would have known a thing or two about the cost of using mobile phones. He claimed for a 12-second phone call costing just 1 pence. Should we subsidise their lunch and dinner bill? No. But why do we? Because we don't make the rules. They do. And when you make the rules, you can do what you like. The NHS has or will, by the year 2020, face a funding gap of £30 billion. The 3.7 million food subsidy is a drop in the ocean, but it would help, wouldn't it? Like one big supermarket says, every little helps. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe and don't miss out on any uploads. Find me on Instagram stories and posts, and feel free to comment on what you think. And after a brief spell of getting lost on this channel and having a creative block, I'm back with how things used to be. See you next time on the Tony Martin Experience. Bye bye for now.